everybody. I'm Rashida Lucas.
And I am Dalila Lucas, and we are your favorite Lucas twins.
Happy Thursday, welcome. We have a special guest in the building tonight.
Yay.
We have the lovely, the beautiful,
He's so sweet.
the sassy, the funny, the kind-hearted, the get in your ass in a nice way. Tabitha Pinky Phipps. I'm sorry, Mrs. Tabitha Pinky Phipps in the building. That's a married woman there, Hoppo. That is a married woman. Not only that, she is a wife, she's a mother of all boys, and she's a CEO. She has her own nannying agency.
Come on, Nanny.
All right.
And that's dope because I know a lot of people who are nannies.
Yeah.
And they live pretty good lives doing that.
Definitely.
But you gotta love kids.
You have to love kids. You have to love kids and have to have a lot of patience. I can tell I'm getting older now.
It's starting to.
I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, but I love the kids. It's, you have your good days, your bad days, but the kids are always great still. So
Awesome.
yeah.
And you're a retired teacher.
Yeah,
So
I used
what
to teach.
what did you teach? Like what grade? How long?
Like early childhood. So I did kindergarten, preschool classes. I even did like infant classrooms.
Oh, you like the babies?
Yeah, I love
You like
the
the little
babies.
one.
The little bitties.
I don't like if I can't, like, I don't like to get you and you're like in second grade. You feeling yourself, you think you know so much. I like to get you like under that because I could really have an influence on how your upbringing is, so.
That's good. These kids need
They need that. They do.
And I'm pretty sure it's probably a tighter bond because it's like you all are learning each other at the same time. Instead of like you said, they set in their ways and how they are. Like Miss Pinky. What?
shaking the camera.
Oh,
I'm not
me?
even touching.
Oh, I was like, I'm sorry.
Like Miss Pinky. I don't know where you came from, but
Oh no, see, I can't deal with those type of kids. So yeah, that don't work for me.
She said no with those.
No,
type of kids.
I'm serious. I cannot because I would be on like CNN and it would be like doom, black nanny.
Talk about do the music.
And I don't want those type of problems. So you have to be. I think you have to be honest with yourself. And yeah, that won't work for me.
Girl, you got some fans on her. Somebody said Miss Sexy Tabby.
Some
That's
guy
Kathy
named
Garcia.
Some guy named Marvin D. Phipps said you fine.
Ooh, that's right. Thank you, Daddy.
Oh my goodness. It's gonna take a special man. I'm waiting for the love that you all have. I mean, I know of course it's not gonna be exactly the same people, you gotta be like politically correct. People like, it's not your
Girl,
blood.
your love is coming.
But
Y'all just.
You
Right.
have to speak.
But I
into
mean,
it.
Right, but I'm saying, but like,
They
to the point where,
they getting that.
because I'm not comfortable with calling a man daddy because my father passed when I was 14.
Okay.
So like,
I was comfortable calling. I used to call my kids father dad.
she's a creep.
That's
But-
not creepy, especially
not
if you have
creepy.
children with them. Like that,
Right,
the
right.
kids. I refer like sometimes you're talking in like a third person, like, oh, did you see daddy or daddy call you?
But I'm talking about like in the bedroom.
I used to say daddy in the bedroom.
Dead.
Oh my God.
I did. I was very comfortable
Single
because
boy.
I know that that's not my daddy, but you my daddy.
But you my daddy, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Or Zaddy with a Z. Does that make it like a little?
like
That's
that
kind of like the
Zaddy.
ratchet. Like I
Right.
just think
Oh, that's the ratchet.
No,
kind?
to me, I'm
Okay.
like I don't like that. It's just made me think of like little thighs with like
Or like,
Right,
you know,
or like you waiting for $40 afterwards.
That's
you know,
like
like
me.
yeah, put my money on it.
It's like-
I don't
It's
think
like
that's
to me
okay.
saying baby daddy. I don't like
Yeah,
daddy.
don't
it's
like
so,
baby daddy.
It's very ghetto.
I can say like
I don't like that either. But speaking of daddy, you guys just got married
yes,
recently in May
yes,
to Mr. Marvin D. Phipps,
yes.
comedian from Chicago's finest, hilarious.
He is funny.
Hosted MC, it was the house MC at Jokes and Notes
Yes.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
And
has a new talk show. on radio.
Oh, we got a big guest.
Yeah. He had a radio.
Blessings, man. I love it. And this is you all's beautiful family with all the boys.
Oh, yes, my
She's
baby.
a boy mom.
You're a boy
I'm a
mom.
boy mom. I love my. Oh my goodness. I just love my boys. I don't know. I thank God for Mars being a boy. At one point, one of my friends, she was like, the Chinese calendar told me you're having a girl. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, she's never wrong, you know? Like she's never wrong. But the heifer was wrong this time, you know? So no, she was super wrong. And so I started telling everybody like, well, I'm having a girl because she told me I'm having this girl. So I started really having to digest the fact that, okay, I'm having a girl. It's going to be some different dynamics. Like, we doing a football and basketball practice. Now I got to, like, add in
Bowls and
you know, I'm like, how am I going to do that? But it's going to be cute. But then we had, like, our gender reveal with our, like, intimate family. And I was so mad because, like, I had already digested that I was having this girl. And I was all, like, mad at first. And then it's like she was wrong, and I'm like, I don't believe in none of your Chinese calendars no more. You're wrong.
I don't believe in none of your Chinese calendars.
Yeah, but like, I really do believe that God give you what is for you. You know.
Definitely,
And,
definitely.
Mars is like the best thing, the best little addition to our
little cute
family.
self.
Thank you.
So
Now,
cute.
I will say what she did get right is that
He was
so
cute like
he
a
looks
girl.
like a
Yeah.
Everybody said
He was
that.
definitely
He
cute.
does.
If you didn't put boy
He's
clothes on him, I
like-
would think he was a girl.
Everybody
Yeah,
said
he's
that.
like the perfect mixture of you and Doug.
He looks more like you.
He does.
He does, but now he's starting to go. I think I wanna.
Yeah. It's okay. He can look like his dad.
That's hilarious.
She said I
He
did.
does look more like you though.
I know.
But that's pretty dope. I wanted all boys, but I got all girls, so
I wanted
It's
all
okay.
boys too. I got 2 girls and a boy. One boy.
I love them the same. I mean, I wasn't like upset. It was just like, whatever. I don't know how they're gonna turn out because I am not the girliest of girls.
Their attitude is just too much.
It's real funky.
I just can't.
That's how parents end up on the news.
Yeah,
Girls.
I believe that. I was talking to my friend today, and she's like, "Let me call you back." I'm like, yeah, that's them girls.
I'm just on my cycle. You on your cycle.
Oh, I wouldn't even want to think about all of that. Yeah.
Do you know how many pads I bought?
I can imagine.
Well,
You
no,
have to
now
go,
I'm-
like, the
I'm
sales at
glad.
Costco.
Yeah, but now I'm glad that they're old enough where like the oldest one, she contributes to, the women toiletries and
Right.
things like that. So I'm still buying them for the 17-year-old. Well, she's only the 20-year-old using. She don't buy nothing, but yes.
Yeah, no, I love my boys. It's the best thing.
Oh,
I really do.
it just sounds like so much fun.
Wait, in the house?
Yeah.
Or are you saying just having
Just boys, just period.
Yeah, it's a lot
you don't
of
have
fun.
to like. You could just take time to get yourself ready.
Yeah, but no. I won't say
She
no.
said no.
No,
No,
because
no.
like my littles, I call the 2 younger ones my littles,
Mhm.
and then like Mars is the junior little,
That's
and
hilarious.
then like little Marvin is the big. He's the big. So
That's-
my littles, you still have to kind of like make sure they look presentable, you know, and
Yeah.
put that like
Don't put that wrinkle stuff on.
mommy's touch on it, you know,
Mhm.
or still ironing their clothes and stuff because I don't want them to get burned or whatever. But
Right, but at least you only got to match bows, earrings,
Comb hair.
necklaces,
yeah, no, and then a purse.
little cute
But
socks.
that's easy.
I didn't do the
though.
purses though, but
all
the
that
ties.
mess.
Oh, and then you gotta comb everybody's hair and not just yours.
Yeah.
But what was crazy with when I had my daughters, their dad's hair was really long, so I had to comb
His
His hair,
too.
3
yeah.
heads, his
That's
hair,
too much.
and then mine. And then by the time I got on mine, I was getting rushed out the house. Like, dude, I just combed 4 people's hair. It's bananas.
Bless your
But
heart.
I know, right? But let's go ahead and get into the topics tonight.
Okay.
So the first topic. Now, I don't know if any of you all been watching, but of course, Love is Blind is #1 trending on Netflix. But next to that is the trials of Gabriel Fernandez.
Oh, no.
Did you watch it?
No, I just can't stomach to watch it, but I know that I follow what's going on, you know. But
yeah, at first I was like, I couldn't
I
either.
just can't.
But then I was like, you know what? This little boy had to go through that. I can at least watch it. You know,
Right.
It wasn't easy.
But I'm gonna cry.
Being
I'm
a-
a crier, so.
Now I'm not a crier, but on the
I didn't
inside,
cry, but I did get emotional.
yeah,
Because I binge watched all 6 episodes yesterday.
I watched
That's
it
a
last
lot
night
longer,
till 2 in the morning.
Because it was so intriguing that I couldn't stop watching it. I couldn't stop.
Well, now you're gonna make me go home and be up watching Netflix.
Man.
Watching it, but
Seriously.
I just knowing the story and, you know, I just don't see how someone could do that to their child, you know. It's just, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, she never wanted him from the get-go. So she never had that bond or that connection with him. She never wanted him when she was pregnant.
But didn't they say, see, that's crazy too, and that goes back to when I used to teach a parenting class, and people don't understand, like, when women carry your kid, you have to be full in, you know what I mean? Because that baby is growing in you, you know what I mean? So you're feeling it and everything, and if you don't have a connection with it, it's gonna be, you know, it's not good.
That's why I can't understand, like, going through 3 pregnancies, well, all 3 of my kids, maybe because, and I can use my youngest one as a great example because that was an unwanted pregnancy. And like I was done at 35, but I found out I was pregnant at 38. You know, me and her dad we weren't in a relationship or nothing like that. But you know, I don't believe in abortions.
Me neither.
So here she is. But like at that very moment, like I took 5 pregnancy tests. I stared at the ultrasound picture for an entire hour. I never cried because my thing is I knew what I was doing.
Right.
I didn't use no condom. He didn't pull out like I'm grown.
It's gonna happen. It's
Like,
bound to happen.
It's bound to happen. This is what happens. But you know, I hadn't been pregnant in 17 years, so for a long time I thought I couldn't have any more kids. But I guess that was wrong.
Joe told you messing with
The
them
lie
out.
detector
Messing with them
that was a
out.
lie.
Messing with them out west niggas.
So back to the not wanting it. Yeah, it was an unwanted pregnancy, but just me knowing I'm carrying a part of me.
It's like a switch flip.
It was like a switch flip,
exactly.
just like as soon as you turn the light on, like this is my baby, I love you, I gotta protect you. You know what I'm saying?
But
Fell in love
everybody
during pregnancy,
every
and that's why
woman is not like that.
I don't for the life of me I don't get it, but I never will because maybe that's not it.
Yeah, it's not. And working with children for so long, I've learned that the way I can be to kids and the way you can see how other people can treat kids is like, how can you? But because that's not in you, you'll never understand in another person's perspective because that's just not how you operate.
Right. I mean, you can hear your child cry, like a certain cry, and you be like, oh my God, what's wrong? Because they hurt.
Exactly.
And the fact that her and her boyfriend tortured this little boy for 8 whole months. I'm talking about broken bones, burns, busted lips,
And they shot
busted
him with BB guns.
Yeah, his mother
his
shot him in
mother
the
shot him
face
with BB
with a
guns in
BB
the
gun.
face.
Yeah.
And it's like, I couldn't even imagine hearing his screams.
Right.
While you all are doing this and you had no type of
No remorse.
no remorse, no
Her
nothing.
and
That's
the
how you know
and
people
the
are not
fiance.
humane.
Right, but that leads us into the first topic of single women and men around their children. Now, I know I've been in this situation because my oldest daughter and my 2 youngest, they don't have the same father. But my 2 youngest daughters' father, that's the only man I've ever lived with. We were together for 5 years. We were engaged. But at the same time, I discerned, like, I watched how he was with his other kids first. I mean, well, not saying that was my deciding factor against pregnancy because none of my pregnancies were planned, but at the same time, it's not like none of them were unwanted either.
Right.
It was just, I was always a person, like, if I get pregnant, I do. If I don't, I don't. But if it was somebody super unattractive or I didn't really care about, I did what I needed to do to make sure it didn't happen.
Oh my God.
So, but if it was somebody like really nice looking on their P's and Q's, like we could go wrong. You know what I'm
he
saying?
got good hair. We can go wrong.
Which is hence the reason she got the little two.
Oh.
The Lopez's.
Oh my God.
It wasn't about his hair though. I mean, it looked nice, but it wasn't about that. It really wasn't, honestly.
Okay.
It wasn't. Cause my first love didn't have no nice hair, and I had all his babies.
Back to the question. So
Oh, right. So, don't even try to make me sound all shallow and shit.
She is.
I am not shallow.
When it comes to being ugly and her not having babies by nobody ugly, you're very shallow when it comes to that.
First of all, okay, let's be 100% real. If you yourself don't want to be ugly, why would you want to have ugly people?
No, you don't want. First of all, you have to
What,
have
am I
somebody.
lying?
No, you
Everybody want to be
Did
cute.
you say ugly people?
ugly people.
Not
Right.
kids, people.
Cause they people. They turn into people. You count them in the census, right? So you
do.
they ain't animals.
They laughing at you on the comments.
She's crazy.
She said, "Thank you, Kathy Garcia." She said, "Keeping it real." I just say what everybody else don't want to
No,
say.
that's not. I say what everybody else don't want to say, but that's just crazy.
But listen,
I did pray through. I didn't have to pray through my first two pregnancies if my kids was gonna be.
Oh, well, why you pray
But I
though?
did with my last.
Why you pray though? What was you praying for?
So that means
He
you.
wasn't cute.
Like, he wasn't what he is now.
No, he ain't cute now.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I know my kids is gonna be fine.
Both your boys, they are. All your boys are handsome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I had
Yeah.
to pray.
Thank you. You said that to me.
Yeah, you just knew yours was probably gonna look Samoan or something. Cause I don't care what I tell Dubs all the time when I first met him when we started doing comedy. I was like, "Are you Samoan? Cause you look
He
Samoan."
definitely
Somebody
People
lying
think
to
he's
you.
Puerto Rican. I'm like, he's not
Hey,
Puerto Rican.
look Samoan is what he looks.
We got another Puerto Rican in the building. Wait, shout out to Puerto Rican.
You remember and the Revolution?
Don't take
That's
him
Mickey
serious.
Free. That's the girl.
Don't take them
I keep seeing somebody call you Booze. Is that your nickname?
No, that's my cousin. And he
That's a
said
family
That's
name?
a family name. Actually, my father gave me that name, so he should stop. That's what he should do. His name, no, it's not. And
Okay, no,
his name
okay.
is Nook. So we
Yeah,
gotta
so
call
he's
him
like,
Nook.
hey, Nook and
yeah.
Booze.
Nook and Booze.
That sounds like a night of fun and spades.
It is. Anytime we get together, it's a good
And it sounds like something
What's
else
up,
afterwards.
JP?
But anyway. But back to, so with single women and men around their kids, like even when you got with Dubs, like you have a son, he has two sons. Like how did you discern, like if you feel safe with this man being around your son, even if it got to the point where you weren't present and maybe he had to be there with him to watch him or something
Okay,
like
well,
that.
that's a good question. The way I work everything out with Marvin is we build something with each other first, and then in the process of that, we always would talk about like his kids and my son. I don't believe in women just introducing their kids to somebody
No,
right
you
away.
can't do that.
I don't care who you are. I don't care how great you are. I don't care how handsome you are. I don't care whatever. I take like kids very seriously. So by the time that Marvin and I got to the point of like meeting the kids and all of that, it was always a group activity. It was never like a by itself type of thing. And I started meeting his family and he started knowing my family. And people don't realize you can tell a lot about people when they're around their family and how they interact with their children and things like that. And I was just talking about this to one of my aunts and my mom the other day. It's something in our culture that we have just like an unsaid thing. We were like, we don't close doors. We don't like open that door. You know what I mean? Or they too quiet. We're gonna go and see. In other cultures, because I work with them all the time, they're having fun. They're children. No, I don't cut it out. Like that does not mean anything, you know. So when I saw that his sisters, you know, were like that and they were all aware of what's going on, I was like, okay, this is a good stock.
Right.
Comes from good stock. This is nice, you know. And then I think that it's important for women to pay attention to what a man is doing for their children, you know. So if he has children, but that's what we're talking about. So I knew he had two boys, so I paid attention to those things. I was very attentive, you know. If from day one, even before I met the kids, like if it's the holidays and things like that nature, I'm making them little holiday bags and things. That's just me.
Oh, I heard all those stories, but continue.
But yeah, you know, so I'm gonna make holiday bags to give them before I even knew them, before I even met them. And to me, those are the signs. You know, he would think about Kingston and bring stuff for him and buy him things like that. Not saying that those material things is all that matters, but it's just you can tell a lot about if a person is even like trying to rock with you or your kid, because this is a package deal, and I think a lot of women get sidetracked from that. They don't think that they so hard up for a man, like I just need this man, I just need this man. No, this is a package deal. So if you don't like him, we're probably not gonna work out, you know. And so when we started blending our family, it was just beautiful because both our boys, Kingston and my middle son Marquise, they're a year apart, so that was the perfect age group, you know. So we always kept doing activities.
And they could keep each other busy while y'all kept each other busy.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Get her. So but that's real. But
see,
not at that time. You know, it takes time to get to that. But anywho. Russian is shush. Okay. Because you're making me get hot and you make me blow.
Oh!
No, not hot. Oh my God.
I have
a
whole new pack under the sink.
She just got it from Family Dollar today, just because we knew you were coming.
Oh my gosh. No, but seriously.
Bing! I see what you did there.
I see what you did there. Oh my gosh. But no, it was important to me. And women to think that they can't ask me, just like men, you know, women have a list of stuff. I love that he had a list for me. You know, I hate people that think that men don't have a list or they don't have standards.
People just think they just dumb
or they just out here like
they're part of some ass.
Yeah,
no, a lot of men are not.
He's very conscious. He's very on top of his game. So he has to deal with a woman that matches his fly, matches his, you know, same moves. And so that's what we did with our family. I think, in my opinion, some women in that situation that we're talking about with the Fernandez, that you just bring people too prematurely into your situation. And I think that's where a lot of problems come in. And people also, when you do get established and you're in a relationship and there's kids involved, people still have to remember the order of operation, okay? So it's my husband, it's me, and then our children.
I'm sorry, they didn't hear you. Can you say that part louder?
So it's my husband,
come on now,
me,
and
our children.
And
then
a
lot of people get to the point that, no, I'm not saying that you don't, you know, put your kids first. I think it's important to put kids first and make sure they're good. But at the end of the day, it's a respect level. So my son always saw me respect Marvin. He respects Marvin. He's like, that's his dad. Like, he's been in my son's life since he was 2.5. You know, so that's what he knows. And with vice versa, with Marvin's kids, they see he respects me.
Right.
We're gonna respect Pinky.
Exactly.
That's our mom.
Exactly.
So I just think that everything has to be established from the core, from the base, the very start of everything. There has to be something that's set.
Yeah.
And the parents, what people don't realize, the parents set the tone.
Yeah.
So if you don't have respect, how you can try to get the kids to have respect? You know, no, because nobody's gonna disrespect nobody.
Now, one of the things I love and respect about you the most, and this is one of the reasons why you were the first woman to pop up in my head when I thought of these topics.
Okay.
I love you never use the word step.
Kids, yep.
And you never use the phrase my husband's kids.
Oh no.
Right.
Like,
no, I'm really big on that.
This is just me personally. I've always been like this, and this is because of the upbringing that we have. I got so passionate, I lost thought of what I was about to say.
Step kids. The word step.
The word step.
There you go.
Okay, I got it. I love when I can see family pictures and I don't know whose kids are whose kids or if they're your kids together or not. I should not know that.
Exactly. Shouldn't know at all.
When you're married. and you have a blended family, I should not know that.
No.
Like I should
No
have to
one
dig
knows that.
real deep, or until I hear it from the horse's mouth, or oh no, that's not my biological son, that's my husband's
Right.
son, but he's
Right.
he's our son. I'd be like, yes,
And
love it.
that goes back to last week. My best friend and I had a conversation on the phone. His marriage with his ex-wife, because he doesn't have any children biologically, but he raised her daughter from the time she was young. But he said during that 12-year marriage, he never felt appreciated because she never made her daughter respect him.
Well,
And
that's
that's
there
her
we go.
husband.
Ding, ding, ding.
I
That's the
said
problem.
you couldn't discipline her either. He said when I disciplined her, she would get down my throat. I said,
Oh,
see, no.
No.
I said no, because and he was asking me, from a mother having children, how do you feel about that? I said, I'll tell you my situation. Now, my oldest two kids were 5 and 7 at the time.
Mhm.
Well, when they were 2 and 4 is when me and their dad broke up.
Okay.
6 months later, I found out he had a new girlfriend, he was living with somebody. That never bothered me. Now, when I found out, then he was like, okay, I want the kids to come over, or whatever. They went over, because I told him, I said, I trust your judgment, and I know how.
No.
But I know that, I know he's not just going to have our kids around anybody.
Right.
So that's why I say I trust his judgment, because he's very protective when it comes to his kids. And I know he wouldn't just have any female around him.
Right.
And the first time they went over there and they met her, when they came home, and they were like, Tiffany this, Tiffany that, and Tiffany
Oh,
this,
that was
Tiffany
dope.
that, and Tiffany this, and she did this, and she did that, and she was in their life for 10 years. And when I tell you, I still love her to death.
Yeah.
Like my kids call her mom. That didn't bother me. It actually brought joy to my heart knowing that my children have someone else that they can look to as a mom if they can't come to me for something. And I never forget when she had called me one day because their dad was gone doing something, and she was like, "Well, DJ did this, and that, and I don't know how you feel." I said, "Discipline him.
Right.
He's in your care. He's in your house. You're with his dad. That's your fear. You discipline him." I said, because when your son comes over here to my house,
I'm gonna discipline
him. And then when they were 5 and 7, I had a boyfriend. We were living together, and his 2 boys were living there, and we both had a discussion like, look, you they mom, you discipline them. You they dad, when we living in the same room, you discipline them.
I agree with that, but I don't even have a problem with disciplining it's a certain age limit to me. Like if you've been in the kid's life 5 and under, I personally feel you can spank, you can pop, you can get more in depth. But over that, you gotta tread lightly, because it's like, they've been rocking for a while now, you know what I mean? So I just don't believe in hitting kids like that anyway. I don't have to really, I can give my kids a stare down and they like, all right, okay, you know what I mean? I don't even have to.
And you got that, you have the, what's the word I'm looking for? Intimidating, raspy ghetto girl voice.
Yeah. Oh, because I could get the ratchet
Right,
real
because people
quick.
like that, growing up, people talk like that, you swear they could fight.
Yeah. Oh, I like, yeah.
Hey, call this person for me. Tell them you're going to whoop her ass. They hit, hey, whoa. You all right? Like, she sound like she was throwing some hands.
Now, can I read a comment from Traynita? She says, sometimes the kid in their teens can make it very difficult not to use step. Granted, my husband's children are mine as well, but we have all agreed that the use of the term is best is complicated.
Oh, can I say something, sir?
Mhm.
I think that it depends on your situation.
I was just about to
But
say
like
that.
me,
Definitely.
so little Marvin is 17. I don't look like people know I didn't have no 17-year-old.
Right.
So people say, like even when I've taken him to his little girlfriend's houses and stuff, they'll be like, I know you his mom. I'm like, I'm technically his stepmom, but that's my baby.
Right.
Like, okay, I can clarify. I have no problem clarifying.
Right.
I just don't address people as, oh, that's your stepson.
Exactly.
I don't like that. I
Right.
don't correct anyone.
Exactly.
Anyone.
No, that's my
And
son.
nobody's family's gonna treat nobody like it's no step, nothing. Either.
No,
I
that's
don't play
right.
that.
It's so crazy, like, my 2 youngest daughters' dad, now, like I said, we were engaged, but we never got married. We broke up like the month before we were supposed to get married. But his other children, I still call them my babies, as grown as they are.
Yeah,
Now,
you
if
be
I
like
right
that.
now,
You
if
be
I
like
post, if I post them on Facebook, something they did, or happy birthday, I'll say like my bonus baby or something like that. But I don't just be like my kid's sister. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My kid's brother.
That's what it is.
Like
Because even like, I think you met her. She was on the team with on our team. Makisha, Kingston's brother, mom and I. People could not believe like we was like hang out. We do business together, and people were like, oh my gosh, how did that happen? I'm like, how does it not?
Because
those are immature minds.
And that's the problem because like even with my kids, their mom, I've never had no issues with her. Like it's just I think that adults make things difficult.
they do.
And sometimes it becomes issues when a person still want a person or
I
whatever.
was just about to
You know
say,
what I
somebody
mean?
still got
Whatever
feelings.
the
swear.
case may be, because
Yeah.
when you're mature, when a person is pouring into your child and doing everything that you know is right, even better than you at times, how can you be mad at that?
Exactly.
That's just, I don't know. That's the thing that, that women, we as a culture and women, period, have to do better, in my perspective, in my opinion. I think we need to do better with that because we don't have to make stuff so difficult. Sometimes it's like people want to cause a rift or issues or drama in that household.
Some people
And
have
we
to
gotta
have.
rule
Some
it.
people's
We gotta
lives
do
are
that.
boring if they don't have it.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they feel like. I think some people drama is their purpose.
Some people
They don't have a
need
purpose, so that's
some
what they
people
have
need
to have.
drama to be able to just live. If they don't have chaos, they
That's
can't.
terrible.
They don't understand what it is. I'm the opposite. I like to protect my peace. I like
Yes, man.
positive energy. But not everybody is
Definitely.
like that.
Right. So, speaking of my kids' dad, shout out Frank Lopez. But when we got together, my oldest daughter was 4.5, just making 5. So when we moved, we moved pretty quickly. I think I was pregnant like 2 months, and then we moved in together like a couple of months after that. And we lived together, and everything was fine. Like, if it was something if I asked her dad for something and he didn't give it to me, he'd be like, man, forget that. Don't ask him nothing. Here you go. Boom, here it is right here. Pay for all her school clothes for first day of first week kindergarten, all of that. And what I love the most, his family never treated my daughter like she was his girlfriend's daughter.
Right.
Never. Like, even to this day, she's 26 years old, they'll still introduce her to people as my niece.
or my
Yeah.
And we never even got married. And it was times where if I had to go do something, I trusted him. Like, there were no worries in the back of my mind if she had to stay with him, or if he went somewhere and took her with him. I didn't have to worry about that. But I think that still goes back to discerning things and reading things, and like you said, not just being, as people say now, pressed to have a man.
Right. And it's unfortunate. Some people are very, very pressed, and it's sad because you definitely want to, at the end of the day, put the kids first. Before, I'm not talking about in marriage. I'm talking about when you're going through those dating phases. You have to
Exactly.
think about the best situation for your child. If a person's telling me, "Oh yeah, I don't really like kids like that," not like that, but like that. That does,
That's a red flag right there.
That's it. Like,
Nope.
there's nothing else to discuss. It's nice meeting you. Appreciate you.
Right.
We can be Facebook friends perhaps, but
Right.
that's it. I'm just
All
saying.
right.
But some
You
people
can
ignore
subscribe
those
to our
things.
YouTube channel.
Some people ignore those things. And Margaret and I was just watching something on Instagram the other day, and the judge was like, it was a show, like, those little snippets, and the judge was telling the lady, you never want to make a man tell you more than once he don't want you. And the man was literally just telling her, like, I don't want you, I don't like you, I'm not trying to be with you. And she's just like, he crazy. So I said that to say,
You're crazy.
my point. But I
You're
said that to
definitely
say
crazy.
that sometimes women do that when it's a kid situation. They make this own fairy tale or this own script in their head, like, when Tiffany get a little older, they gonna be cool, No, I don't know, because he already told you he don't really like kids. And it's like, sometimes people need to stop getting in their own way and really pay attention to the reality of
That's
the
because
situation.
a lot of them think that they can change somebody's mind.
Yeah, well, you can't. You
No.
can't do
But
that.
so what you said when you first started talking this time, this is what I hated over the years. So, like after we broke up, I dated people, but I wasn't in a relationship for like 12 years. After that, I've never lived with, and that's the only man I've ever lived with. And I hate when guys, say, "Oh, you 35, you 37, you 42, and you don't have anybody, and you still single. What's wrong with you?" There's nothing wrong with me.
Right.
I have 3 daughters.
Right.
Like, I'm not just gonna be living
Doesn't
with
have any
anybody
man,
or
right.
having any man moving in. Then not only that, he set a certain standard that was as close to my dad as anybody
so
could
if you
get.
don't meet that,
So if
it's
you
like-
can't even get up there, it's like,
Yeah. I don't know. I look when it's situations like that. I look at my mom, which she's like the best person in the whole world. Okay, so I feel like my mom, parents when you sacrifice for your kids, but my mom refused to get married until I was like going to college.
a certain age.
Yeah, and they were dating and everything, but she's not gonna have men around me. She didn't. I couldn't even tell you. I just know, like my dad and my stepdad. She just didn't have all these men in and out of her house, and you don't see that. And so I always tell people, be the example. I just posted this on Facebook not too long ago. I'm trying to become the woman that is the example. People talk all day. They talk a good game, but
Them actions show
your
everything.
actions show everything. So I don't want my
Everything.
kids to, just say, "Oh, I have a great mom." They're saying it because they can say, example, exhibit A, exhibit B, exhibit, So that's what I want, for women. They just need to be the example that you expecting this man to be. You be that example that you
Exactly,
need to be.
because trust me, when men see when they see that in women, they'll bounce on you faster than you'll bounce on them. They're
Yes,
out
they
like, she don't care about her kids. I can't do this.
Now I'm not going.
She put me before. Nope.
Right now, I'm not gonna sit here and sound perfect and say that they never met anybody outside of their dad. Like, it may have been maybe 2, 3 people that they met, and that was somebody who was close to, they were a potential. So when kids get a certain age, you definitely have to see how the dynamics are gonna be, or how they, what's the word I'm looking for? How the chemistry is, how they interact with each other. Like you were saying, small kids, no. But once they get
That's
teenagers,
all I'm saying.
oh
It's
no,
a
they
different
gonna meet them as a friend. Hey, this is my friend, such and such and such.
Yeah.
Because as teenagers, they gonna let you know what's up
And
with her.
especially if you don't even know
Oh, your
where
kids
it's
will
going.
definitely let you know. When they
What?
older, like 12, 13, oh, you be like, I want you to meet, because they your detective now. You be like, hey, I want you to meet
They like,
somebody.
dang, he ain't right.
And they be like, oh, he cool. They be like,
What's up with dude?
you be like, well,
Never mind. Then they be like, oh, she never called
Why you
back.
ain't calling me no more? Yeah, my kids don't fuck with you, dog. It's a no for me.
That's a no. A strong no.
It's gonna be a no for me, dog.
so Trinita, in response to what you were saying, Pinky, she said that's why our situation is complicated, because their mom can't let go. But come on, Trey, you got a great husband, and she regrets messing up
And
with
he
a
has a
great man.
great wife.
So
and she
you're
knows.
living what she thinks is supposed to be her life.
Well,
So,
people
but-
think that all the time, but I would say to her is that you just keep being the best version of yourself,
and she
everything
loves her
else,
kids. Yeah.
and I'm not saying that in a cocky way. I'm saying that in a way of, it's just like if you surround yourself with greatness, you're great. I don't want to be around losers, because I'm not a loser.
Exactly.
So if she continues to just do what she has to do, everything else will fall in place. And I love becoming the best version of myself, because some people can't take it. Ooh, right there. And I just love it. And it's okay. And you
But
just gotta
that's you
smile
got a
and
positive
nod.
attitude.
Exactly.
But that's how you have to be in this
Exactly.
type of world that we live in. You can't, get caught up in like the backlash of people's negativity.
Yeah.
You just ignore it. ignore the noise.
Rena Young said, "My son is 8 and he is on it." LOL.
All the boys,
Yeah, you got fans on here. Jimmy Harvard Jr., Jerica, Taylor, Tabitha, Nicole. Hey, sis, she said, "My brother and I have canceled a few guys over the years." That's hilarious. There's like, no. Tawanda Abbott said, "And you treat all of them the same." Who is Tawanda Abbott?
Oh, that's my babe. She's such a sweetheart.
Oh, okay.
You all
Hey,
actually have
Portia.
her on the show too. She goes around to different schools and teach people about children with diabetes. Like for diabetic children.
Nice.
I think that's
That's
the
dope.
best thing.
It
Because so many
is.
mothers
Because they
don't
get
even
diabetes.
know.
It's not
And then
an
some
age
kids
thing.
are they're born with it. You know,
Mhm.
you can't help how you're born. You know, so but that's what she does. That's
Nice. But you guys started talking about it already, so it segues into the second topic perfectly. Ladies, would you let your husband or boyfriend discipline your child or your children? And we already talked about the woman's perspective, but what about a man or your husband disciplining your children?
Well, I personally believe, this is just me, you asking me, I'm not going to have anyone, whether it's a family member or a friend around my child that I don't trust is going to put them in the right situation or do them, you know, right. So it's, even with nannying, if you can't have your kid with me, if you're mad that I'm yelling at it, even if I pop him, whatever.
Mhm.
Oh well, and I'm upfront with my clients.
Come
I let
on
them
now.
know. It's like, you're not finna act like that. Nah, you're not with me. And they know. They'll tell you, Miss Tabby, when they trust me with their life, okay?
Mhm.
Because they know it's not coming from a place of malice. I don't want anything bad to happen,
Exactly.
or their children to be put in danger. And you know, kids try you. They'll snatch away and try to run.
Oh, they
and
know.
And
they
the street
know.
is right there. So yeah,
Exactly.
and I'm gonna
Yes.
yank your arm.
And
Don't
I'm
do
talking
that.
shit out of you too.
Oh God.
Cause you
Oh,
just
yeah.
scared the hell out of me.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
This
if
ain't
people
nothing
are
I feel nothing
mad,
like that car.
if people are mad at you doing that, then I have a problem. Now, it'll be different. Like Marvin, he
You're
threatens.
salty.
I'm
We're
not
gonna
even
take
gonna
that.
say nothing, but he threatens. All right, y'all, stop running. All right, y'all gonna get hurt. I'm the one that's like,
You're the
I'm
disciplinary.
getting ready to beat somebody. Like
Right.
I'm getting ready to snap. Like he don't do none of that. But he makes it very. He said something to me a long time ago. I don't have to do that. I
Yeah,
set
me and
the
you
tone
don't
because
have
I'm
to do
dad,
that.
Mhm.
and they respect that. He just said, "Hey," they're like, "All right, dad."
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I personally feel like if you are dating a person or married to a person and all they want to do is spank and whoop, we gotta have a conversation because our teaching, like our upbringing, our children are not the same playing field.
Mhm.
So I personally don't believe in just beating kids all day. Like we have
I
to
know,
have
but there
some
are
type of
some who
No.
need some.
no,
Now,
and that's understandable.
now when we thought of the topic, when I said disciplining, which is not always physical, because you have a lot of
People always
people
go
who
straight
have
to
a
the
problem
physical.
with somebody verbally disciplining their children, which to me is like, no, that little is not gonna disrespect
That
that
little what?
person.
person, all of these people.
That little person is not gonna disrespect.
Sound like you wanted to call them
Now,
something else.
and this is the same conversation that me and my best friend had last week. Like my little baby, she's 3. I said, now the man that I married, because her dad is.
That's a whole nother show.
A whole nother
That's
show.
another show. Okay.
But basically,
It's sad.
whoever I marry, that's gonna be like 100% her dad.
Right.
So yes, cause she's little, and she's probably gonna be like Shaquille O'Neal, like that's my daddy. So yes, you discipline her. That's your daughter.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, buddy. I like my grandmother used to say this all the time. Like if people needed a babysitter or something, she would tell people all the time, "Don't send them if you don't want me to discipline. If I can't
Right,
whoop them, I
right.
can't.
I mean,
don't
what's the
send
point
them."
of having?
It ain't like she about
you
to
know,
be dangling them from the
The-
chandelier
right, or the
nothing
balcony,
like that.
you know.
Right. Cause you're not gonna run on my couch, and I can't tell you sit down, get off the couch.
Right,
stop
or
running.
pop your ass.
If I
'cause you
can't
won't
tell
stop
you,
running on
if
my
I
couch.
can't tell your kids that,
They, I don't.
they're not coming
shouldn't
over
be
here.
at my house.
They're not
That's
coming
how I
over
feel.
here. Now, Clifford Air said,
Hey Clifford.
I wouldn't want to discipline someone else's child. You can do it your way, and I'll get behind you with support 100% to let the child know there is unity in the house about their behavior and know that we both care. Yeah, okay, Clifford.
That's good.
I mean, that's good,
That
but
is good.
at the same time, being an adult and being a man, like I said, you know, discipline is not always physical. It's verbal. If I can't tell you to sit down, that is not how we do things. That is not what you do. If you can't do that to someone else's child, then don't have them around.
I personally wouldn't want to have somebody permanently around my kids who wasn't a disciplinarian.
Yeah, because I feel like you don't care because
Exactly.
you just gonna let them act like that. Like, what is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, I need you to reiterate and intervene something. You got to say something and let them know, like, you don't do that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Stop doing that. You know you bogus. You can't. You know you don't have to beat a kid. You can. It's other ways to discipline.
You know, people send their children to school. You think these teachers not disciplining your kids?
Oh well.
They would do
let
for
me tell
8
you.
hours.
Well, let me tell you, a lot of parents I know from experience, depending on the neighborhoods, and I will say this, and I probably get backlash from it. I really don't care though, but I've found, because I work in a predominantly more white community, and those parents be more like, whatever you gotta do, Tabby, they're yours.
I know that.
Tabby's not gonna do that. Whatever she said, I know it's the drill. It's us. It's us.
Yep.
That
I'm not
who
with-
is she? And this
I'm
is
not
why I
with
can't
y'all.
work with y'all.
I
Because
identify
that's
as
just
an
too
Arabic
much.
woman. I'm not black anymore.
And you know what?
Y'all
And
people
that's
get on my
true,
mother
because-
loving nerves.
Let me tell you, I've noticed that with other cultures, they still believe in it takes a village.
It does. It
Because
really does.
when I was working in the cath lab at Trinity, one of the doctors, he's Indian. Well, he's Pakistani. He's Pakistani. And his son is 15, and it was like, bring your kid to work day. And he was like, I'm going to leave him in the cath lab. If he get out of line, y'all say y'all getting his ass.
Right.
That's exactly. He was like, there's a bunch of black women in here, and I know y'all don't play.
That's hilarious.
That's
what
so
he said,
real.
but he was
That's so
serious.
real. Yeah.
But and he said that, like, in their culture, it's like that. If our kids go somewhere else, they get disciplined.
Right.
You
But
know?
now I'm just saying, in a nice way, so many women have a problem with you saying, we could be at the park, and it's just, oh, sweetheart, don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. Or don't kick my son like that. You know, you're kicking your feet.
Right.
And then they want to roll up. What you say?
Right.
We don't want
Girls,
this
you
smoke.
know,
I think that's
I
not
would
what you
shoot a
want. Like, that's violent. I didn't say.
I'm protecting myself. Y'all people get out of hand.
Oh my God, she said she's gonna shoot somebody. I don't think you should shoot them, but I'm just saying that's
I mean,
how
like
so
in
much
the
stuff
foot or something.
in the foot. Okay, that's how so much stuff is like, you know, a problem. That's a problem in our communities. It's a problem. The only way you want to take, let them. You can't say nothing to their children. What happened to, like, when I was growing up? We playing double dutch.
Come on
We
now.
could be 3 houses down. They're gonna be like, who said that? So
Exactly.
and so. Don't play with me. I'm gonna tell Granny, your mama, or whoever.
Yep.
And it's not like it's a big deal.
Your
No
neighbors
one's gonna
got
hurt
it. You
her.
got a double whammy because the neighbor got your ass, and then you got
and
home.
then you
and
got
your
in trouble
parents got
again
your
when
ass.
you got home.
And if you came from a 2-parent home, the one that was there got in your ass, and then you got it again when the other one got
But if you
home.
really want to know, that's the problem. That's the problem
It
in
is the
society
problem.
now. Can't nobody tell these kids nothing. That's why they running around out of control.
Yeah. When they said
Talking
you
about
can't
gang,
whoop
gang,
them,
gang.
when they said you can't whoop them and basically you can't
For real.
discipline your kids,
What
they
say?
got out of control.
Don't make
Because
me
let me
do
tell you, in the 90s and in our
Oh
generation,
my God.
even though these guys was on the street and gang bang, but they still respected adults
Yeah.
and elders.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be outside cussing, hey,
And
smoke. So let an
Yeah.
old lady come,
Shut
hey,
up.
here come Miss Jones, shut up.
Be quiet.
Move out the way.
Now they don't care. They smoking weed on the church step. Like, they just out of
Oh,
control.
I tell them I'm the police.
Let me tell you something.
I ain't lying. All the time, boy. I
Let me
go
tell
to
you
the police
something.
car all the time.
When they said you couldn't whoop your kids, guess who's still whooping their kids?
You.
Hello. And my kids are fine.
They fine.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you can't whoop your kids. I just don't think you need to be like that mother. That
Oh
we're
no,
talking
if you pop them and let it be in public, you'll go to jail.
Oh, well.
Yeah, 'cause-
Or if you whoop them with a belt because that's a foreign object, you'll
Yeah,
go
because that's the crazy part
Mm.
about the Gabriel Fernandez story. After watching the whole thing, it wasn't just the boyfriend. Like
It was
Yeah,
her.
it's her.
It was more than mother.
her own family was like, no, that was her. She controls all her boyfriends.
She controlled him, and it's like you, as a man, why would you want to be with a woman? And like her, what was that? Her aunt said that, like basically saying he must have been a very insecure man, and he thought that he could never get a woman like her
Yeah,
again.
I call those people bands. Okay,
Band?
bands. B-A, yeah.
Big-ass nigga?
Bitch ass.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's a band. So when I be like, oh,
That's
he's such a band.
Shout out 7th Street.
I be like, oh my God, he's such a band. Like, that's what those type of men are.
Yes, and it's like,
So wow.
how did
You
this
ever heard that
woman-
song?
how
I like
did
that
this
song.
woman
I'm gonna play it for you after the show.
manipulate you too, because everyone that knew him was like, not him. But from her family,
They like,
they weren't shy. It was like, oh no, that's her. She's controlling him. He's doing it because it was like she was so manipulative. He was like one of those men where you have men who,
A band.
right.
well, that do that to women that make them feel like if you don't do what I say, you can't be in my presence.
Well, they bands too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, definitely. They're the most insecure people.
Yeah.
And that whole situation was crazy. Like, dude, now your
Oh,
life.
wait.
Oh,
Read this.
that's
Okay.
a paragraph.
Rita, it is. She wrote a book. Y'all got blankets and stuff. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. So Rena Young said, my son's father died when I was 2 months pregnant. I am so sorry to hear that. He doesn't have that father bond from his biological father, but my daughter's father stepped in and helped and treat him as his own.
Nice.
He calls him dad because that's all he knows.
Exactly.
He helps discipline him and talk to him with no problem. He needs that male push sometimes.
Yes.
I love their bond, and his family treats my son like their own. It takes a right village to raise a child.
That is so true.
You are
That is so
right
true.
about that.
That is true.
And
He is
I
blessed.
had to teach my daughter that because my grandson Davi he's 4.5 years old. My daughter's 20. She had him when she was 15. His dad was very present in his life. They live right downstairs, hence why the baby was here already. Well, easy access. But he was very much in his life, very hands on. His family too.
Oh yeah.
And he was murdered like steps away from the house when he was 7 months old. So not too long ago, my daughter was dating this young man, and I would tell her all the time, I was like, he has no connection with him. You have to, like, kids' spirits are innocent, so they pick up on a lot of things. And my grandson is also on the spectrum, so he picks up on even more without even without even verbally saying it.
Yeah.
So me paying attention to that, I'm like, you can't be with somebody who doesn't even care about your kid
Or acknowledge them.
They acknowledge him. But right now, she's dating a guy who was her best friend from high school. When I tell you this man, he even told her, he said, honestly, I love Davi more than I love you. I said, that's the kind of man you want around your child.
Yep.
The one who could sit there and be like, I love him more than you.
Right.
You know, he sets his alarm to call him in the morning and tell him good morning and have a great day. Like,
see, those things matter though.
They-
You know,
that's
and
huge.
sometimes people don't pick up on like I'm always a person that's it's the smallest things, it's the little things that count for me. And you can bring gym shoes all day long. Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Did you even ask him about his day at school?
Exactly. I don't care about that material.
Okay, you know.
And we've never been into materialistic
Yeah, I've
stuff.
never been a label
when it
whore.
comes to men,
I
that
have.
This sweater and this chain
that
from Rainbow.
that's never won me over. Show me your actions. 'Cause buying stuff is easy.
That's the easy.
That's
thing.
easy.
I can do that
Everybody can do
myself.
that.
That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. I can
Exactly,
do that
that's
part
easy.
myself.
So no, you can't win me over by buying my kids stuff. How do you act and how do my kids react to you? That's what I pay attention to.
Now I have a question. I like your shirt. It's all blingy. Miss
Thank
She.
you.
What does that mean? Who is she?
She is a noun. She is a mom, a wife. She is loud. She is quiet. She is a motivator. She is a boss. She is a trendsetter. You know, she is you. She is me.
She's horny than a mother. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I'm talking about myself, not her.
my
But she's married, so it's okay.
So she is you. She is me. So it's something I've been working on lately. And
I like that. They got the dot, so that's where everything else.
Yeah. And this basically stands for she is seeking higher elevation.
Oh.
And that's what, just like we were talking about with the children. What women don't understand, it takes a village with the women as well. We have to have a strong support system for each other. And it's just something I've been wanting to touch bases on a lot lately because it's too many women tearing each other down. Like, why can't I promote you?
Exactly.
I don't understand that. Why can't I? People know that I nanny and have a nanny agency. And if you need me to babysit and they know I'm good with kids and I know you need a break, why can't you reach out to your sister and say, oh, bring the kids over. It's okay. Mm-hmm. It's just too much, especially in our culture, that tear each other down. And I have a problem with that. So I said, sometimes you have to, instead of talking about things, you just have to become the change. Mm-hmm. And it starts with one person. You take a stand on something and everybody else will fall in line and follow suit. So I'm just trying to make sure I start getting women together, have forums like this, but in a group setting, and it don't got to be on live or nothing. It's just getting people. It's so many issues that women go through on a daily basis that I have this quote that I always say, it's okay to not be okay. Mm-hmm. And so many women don't know that, and that's the truth. It's okay. Like, some days it's hard. Then some days it's the best days, But if we don't motivate each other, you get lost in the sauce, So.
Yeah, and that goes back to, I had a friend, I don't say had, like the person is not even living. I have a friend who's also a business partner of mine in the business we were in. And he said it best. He said, a lot of times, especially, I'm sorry, with y'all, because I'm not black anymore.
Right?
Yeah, I'm Arabic.
She's Arabic.
Arabic.
Yes.
And I was black for Black History Month.
Oh,
so that, because I had to give the people who paved the way for y'all, homage. So starting Sunday, March 1st, I went back to being, I already have an Arabic thing, so why the hell not? But y'all people have this bad thing of, it's like, okay, I see Tabitha, she's a CEO, she's a wife, she's happy, just had a baby, has a good family, she looks amazing, beautiful, beautiful spirit, inside out. I'm just speaking on things I know of you. Business, you do your thing with anything you touch your hand on, you're going to go hard and go crazy. That's why he chose you. I knew that before you even knew it. But anyway, yes, it was nothing but great things about you. But there are people who see that in you, and they know for a fact you're going to win because of the drive and the ambition that you have, but they do not want to be a part of you winning. And so they can have the money.
Not? That's sad.
They can, you can be the only option.
I don't get that.
Look, okay, let's say perfect example. It's a woman out there right now on her knees every night, even this morning crying in the car. The car's about to get repoed. She needs a job. She needs some money. She knows for a fact you own your own nanny and agency.
And she will not
and you
call
can give
me.
her a job, but she's not going to call you.
I know someone right now.
But she's not going to call you.
Right, you're not lying. I'm sorry. I get real passionate about this because
sad.
It's sad.
And she'll sit there and suffer for another 7 months
because
waiting
of her
for
pride
something
and
else.
her ego. And you know what they taught us about
And
ego? That's edging God out. So I don't know.
Wow.
I don't like my ego to get in my way because I need all the God. I need everything, So that's
but not only that, just because her calling you and getting a job helps you even more being successful, and they don't want a part of you being successful. But you have a business, your shirts, you start this shirt line. That bride will not buy a shirt.
Yes, you are.
Because it's gonna help you excel. And it's such a messed up mentality, but like I said, this is why I'm Arabic.
Okay, I'm struggling.
Can I say something?
Yes. We have a guest. We have Anthony Collins in the building.
Okay, I'm struggling with that whole mindset. I'm not gonna bust my brain.
Okay, go
Well,
ahead. Would you like come back here so that people can see? Come on.
You don't want to be on camera.
Oh, okay. He done slimmed all over. He done slimmed all over.
I work for the CIA.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, okay.
Oh, you don't want them to see your.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to say your name?
That was cool. You already said it. So
Right.
Okay.
No, but seriously, I don't want to take up too much time. But I can only speak from my perspective in that what our problem is as a group is when it comes to business and helping one another is that they only look at what you have, you know, what you have acquired as far as material. Now, a lot of us pretend like that's not a big issue, but really, when it comes to business, it is. So when it comes to family and friends and promoting, in my opinion, I don't waste my time sharing my businesses with my family and friends because all my businesses are successful because 90% of the people
Are
not
not
strangers.
your
not
friends.
people I don't know. Like I'll have somebody that's in California literally sent me $3,000, never seen them or nothing for my services. But maybe Rashida, just use you as an example,
I was about to say, 'cause I'm a bad
who been
example.
knowing me,
Right,
who been
I'm
knowing me
like,
for
what
over
is-
25 years,
Right.
so question me up and down about giving me $100.
Right.
That's one of our biggest things. And then the second issue, when I was driving the same car for 10 years, but had the same knowledge,
Right.
no one wanted to listen to me. Now they see the different cars, the houses and stuff like that.
Right, but
They-
I was
I get-
building at the time.
They beat me
Yeah.
down, but now I cost.
Yeah, and now
Now the
that's
stuff I was
not
giving you
free.
for free.
Exactly. Now you got to pay for that.
And they get upset. You get mad. You hear the whispers. You hear this. You hear that. But what I say, you keep doing you to the point where they ain't gonna have no choice but to come to you
And
because
Exactly.
they might even know that you're a minority owner in this company, and I went to that company. There's a couple businesses I'm a minority owner in. People don't even know.
And that's how you want it to be.
Right? You know, people don't even know. So you just keep doing what you got to do before you know they gonna have no choice but to come to you.
And you know, that's a good point. I mean, that was great actually, because I always say, I would say another saying I like to say, be so good they can't ignore you.
There it is.
You know,
That's
so
perfect.
and that's what I said earlier. I don't know if you remember when I'm gonna piggyback on that, and I said, be the best definition, like just be the best version of myself that I can be.
Yeah.
And then other women that want it, they're gonna gravitate to it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because good stock know good stock. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
that's just
And this is why I became business partners with this person here. We were business partners like 9 years ago too. So I already know the drive. Like, actually, honestly, you taught me some of that drive. Like, I had drive, but I didn't have like, you know, it was stuff he would do, and I would feel bad. Like, I feel like I ain't doing shit. He doing all this, but I didn't think of that. But like now, I'd be like, oh, let me do this, or let me do that. Okay, well, let me do this. Let me spend hours and do this and work on this. It's tedious as hell, but once I get it, you know what I'm saying? So,
Hey, Miss Kathy, that goes back to when I was working at the hospital. You know, people when Rashida, when I said, "Oh, I'm gonna leave here, I'm gonna become a full-time entrepreneur," my sister and I, we started.
boy, I started to go outside and shoot like it was New Year's Eve. I've been waiting for her to do that. Man.
We started, you know, businesses together. We're gonna get this show. We're gonna be a household name on the talk show. And people are like, "Well,
Why would you
how
do that?
how many people watch? Why does that matter? I don't care.
That's crazy.
We're gonna promote every week, every time we do a show. I don't care if 3 people love the post. But when you look at them views, there's a lot of people watching, but they
They're
didn't
not gonna
comment and
come in,
put
they're not
nothing.
gonna put a heart.
And
That's how they
and like I
promote it.
told him, I said, this is the thing.
It's
Rashida
crazy.
and I, we've always been very unorthodox, which is, you know, why a lot of people love us, because my father taught us to be leaders, not followers. And we're not
Very
drifters. That's how.
optimistic.
That's
Definitely
how
not
we
a
were
drifter.
raised.
You know about that.
Right, we're not drifters, and you know, a lot of people look at that and like, oh, I'm
Outwitting the devil.
or whatever. And the reason why we do this is like, I don't care if it's 30 people watching or 30,000. Whatever we have to say is gonna touch somebody.
And then you have to start
You
somewhere.
know, exactly.
Like,
You
I
have
don't
to
know
start
why
somewhere.
people
Who
think
cares?
that everyone's gonna be getting Kim Kardashian numbers.
Exactly.
I don't care, and even though I love Kim, I'm just saying, like, it's not. You have to start just a little mustard seed or something, and you don't know how far that can sprout to. You know what I mean?
But I know what kind of video I do need to make to get Kim Kardashian numbers, but I'm not willing to do it.
Somebody
See, I
needs to
walk
say, only
myself.
you.
I'm-
That
yeah,
you to say
she
that.
the one.
Right, go find
She
Ray
won.
J.
Oh, I like
Or
what Cliff,
somebody that looks like Ray J.
I like what Clifford said. He said they need to realize that I don't ask for help because I'm weak. I ask for help to remain strong.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
yeah.
I love that. That's deep and that's true.
And that is.
And like back to when I was working in the cath lab, out of 10 people working in there, every time those doctors would be in there, I would sit there, I would talk to reps, I had conversations with all the doctors, And my coworkers would be like, Dalila, you just talk to everybody.
Why not?
Because I'm a student.
Mm-hmm. And I want to learn.
Come on.
And questions that people didn't want to ask,
I'm gonna ask.
what? I
I'm
was
asking
like,
everything. That's how
I would ask what's your ethnicity, what's your background, oh, your accent. Or, you know, if we have a patient, I don't care if I've been doing this for 8 years, you learn something new every day when you do procedures because everybody's anatomy is different. I would ask questions, and the thing that the doctors will love is they'd be like, you are nowhere near ignorant.
No.
No. And they love to educate, and they would want you to ask, because if you don't ask questions, they'll be like, no. Where's Dalila? I need her in here. Where's she? Because she's open to learning.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't, they're in fear of looking stupid. They're in fear of failing. And my thing is, if you fail, so what? Get your ass back up and do it again. Like, if you lose your job or it don't work out, you gonna stop working forever? Nope, you gonna get your ass out there and find another job.
Right.
Your car break down, you gonna get out there and get another car.
Right.
Everybody's not gonna like your oral sex, but you will get better, and someone will like it in time and propose to you.
Practice makes perfect.
Failing is necessary in every business.
In every business.
All aspects of life.
Failing is necessary in everything, even parenting.
Right.
Yeah.
Failing, if
You ain't gonna be no
You're not
perfect
gonna
parent
be.
all
You
the
can't be.
time.
You can't be perfect with anything you do.
Exactly. You can't
cannot. It's
learn
just
if
not
you don't
realistic.
fail.
You're not even a perfect
You
friend.
know what I'm saying?
No.
I'm not a horrible friend.
I'm not. I'm a great friend. I
But I
believe.
ain't perfect.
But I know I
I'm
make
alright.
mistakes.
I take an eye.
You know, you make mistakes and you learn along the way. But I think, you know, with women nowadays, it's so much emotional stress and anxieties, and people have to learn to be vulnerable. I think that's the most sexiest thing for anyone.
Is to be
To
vulnerable.
be vulnerable.
Yeah,
It's okay.
sexy on a man.
I can tell you, I don't know. Sis, I messed up. Like, I had a bad day. Like, I was about to shake a kid. Like, I was, you know, it's okay. And I don't have to walk around like, oh my God, everything's great all the time.
And you want to know
It's not. I'm trying to lose this baby weight. Everybody
Girl,
keeps
you
talking
look
about
good.
I
Be
look
quiet.
good. No, I appreciate that.
I
but
want to
I'm-
smack you on camera.
Oh my gosh.
I'll wait till
I'm
you
just
stop.
saying
But you
that
know how
people
you
think
used to
that
look.
But you know how
and
you want
people
to
think
feel.
that you don't have those insecurities, and the best way to me to relate to other women is just to show them I'm the same way. I'm trying to buy waist trainers and do sit-ups and walk the tracks just like you. And I think
Right.
that's sometimes when you break down that barrier, more times women can like, oh, okay, she cool. Because so many people used to just always say, she's so stuck up. Never even spoke to me.
I never got that.
Never even
from
spoke to
you.
me though.
I never
Like, you know,
got
I'm
that.
just saying
I
that
never
people
got
say
that
that.
Now, what I did pick, I'm like, she look like she'll whip somebody's ass, but I never.
Well, I'm from the West Side.
But I never got. I never got stuck up though. I never.
No.
Never got
But,
that.
you know, I'm
I'm
just
like, she
saying,
stay
some-
sharp. She'll whip somebody's ass, and she got a beautiful spirit. Like that was all I got.
Right. But
That
and
was
see,
it.
and that goes
Whip
back
their ass
to,
in Jesus' name.
you know, my coworkers would be like, you talk to everybody, white, Macedonian,
They're people.
everything. They're people.
Right.
Yeah, I
Why
talk
not?
to
It ain't
everybody.
nothing but a different skin color and,
Exactly.
and hair
And
texture.
then people that's
That's
too
it.
concerned about race and all that,
Wrong
they
shit.
weird too. Yeah, that's
Jesus.
my husband say you worried about the wrong.
Oh,
But
right.
when you sit and talk, like, people so judgmental, sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like one of the nurses I used to work with, she said, you don't think that some of the things that they say
Who is they?
is racist? I said, first of all, that's a negative ass mindset. I said, I don't converse with people to look for the negativity. I enjoy the conversation while we're having it.
Yeah, even when we can disagree to.
I said, but if you sit and you talk to people, you'll learn everybody goes through the same thing.
Because act like you like every black person you come in contact
You don't.
with. Stop.
Thank you. Hey, Joy Boy.
It's so ignorant.
It's just, and they like, oh my God, like,
No.
I mean,
These
it's
people love you.
oh yeah, they love you.
Kathy Garcia said, Tabby, you're a sweetheart, always caring for people.
Oh, I love
With a
her.
heart.
Yes, but
She
I
was
think,
one of my lab students, and she's so grown up now.
Yeah,
and
she
married
said, wait,
and-
hold on. She said something, wait, it's way back here. She said something. I read it and laughed, but the conversation was so good that I wanted to read it, but we started talking about. Oh, she said working together with the baby was so much fun. LOL. She bosses me around. Just kidding.
No, I did, but I'm telling you, I bet she would comment. She's the best mom ever, though. And people, that's what I mean. When you learning as you go along and working and just interacting with other people or other teachers or anybody, you're gonna pick up certain things, and that's gonna help you. I'm so much better from some of the best teachers I worked with in like years, you know, and they helped me mold me into being a better mom. And then you gotta understand too what you come from, what's your stock. I have a line of great stock. Every woman in my family is successful, great people, great mothers, you know, just great. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, not saying that they don't make mistakes, but they just set great examples.
Yeah.
They didn't just tell me, oh, don't do this, don't do. They led.
Explained why.
No, they led. I didn't do it because I saw what was right, the right way to do it, you know. And then and I learned the older I get, everybody don't have that. So I say, like, everybody don't have a sweet. Everybody don't have an Yvette. Everybody don't have, and you know, Amati, you know, Annette. You know, they don't have these people in their life. So I don't take that for granted.
Now, on the flip side of that, we had this conversation before too. On the flip side of that, a lot of people don't understand why. Like, Dalila and I have never been male bashers, never, because we didn't grow up with a reason to.
Exactly.
First of all, we grew up with our dad in the house. He was an amazing father. Did the best he knew. Well, and then not only that, he didn't know his father because he was the mistress baby. So he only met his dad twice, but he promised to himself his children would never feel that pain that he felt. So what did he do? He emulated the Cosby Show, and his older brothers and his nephews, because he was the old folks baby. So he has nephews who are older than him, and his sister's husbands who, you know, practically raised him as well.
He had a lot of great male figures.
Yeah, a lot of them. So we grew up with a lot of male figures who raised other great male figures who are now like first and second cousins, who are amazing husbands, amazing fathers. So when women sit in a circle and male bash, and man, that's stupid, that I'm like, I don't know that. I know it's some bands out here, but they like sprinkled here and there. And then not only that, you are what you attract. What you think becomes a reality. So if that's all you thinking, then that's what you're gonna keep having around you. Like Tony and I had a conversation years ago when we had a radio show. Well, this was off the radio show, but he asked me. He was doing an experiment, and he was asking people like, how many happily married couples can you name? And I think most of the people you call maybe only could say one, and if it was one, I knew 10 off the back of my head. Yep. Boom, 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 da da da. This person.
And I can name probably almost 20 right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But that goes back to the people you surround yourself with.
Exactly.
You know, you surround yourself with stuff like that. That's all you're gonna see. Right. I had a conversation a week ago telling somebody that I can name almost 20 happily married couples off the back of my head.
Easy.
Exactly. I don't even have to think.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. This is a great show.
Thank you. I had fun.
Usually I be trying to cut it off before an hour. Like, is there anything else to talk about?
Can I say?
But we went over the hour. See, she still wants to talk.
I just want to say one thing. A lot of people.
That's not one thing. You said you wanted to say one thing.
I can't stand it.
Just one statement.
Okay.
No, you said I want to say one thing, which means you were supposed to go one thing and then close out. Smart ass.
So, the phrase, when we always talk about phrases that people repeat and don't pay attention to.
Oh, it's dumb.
Okay, so everything we talked about, there's one phrase that a lot of people need to unbrainwash themselves with is that dumbass statement, love all, trust none. First of all, you have to trust if you want to love and if you want to grow. Yes. If you don't trust anyone, you're going to stay where you at. Don't complain, stop crying, just stop complaining.
And shut the F up.
Basically.
Please.
So,
and thank you.
You know? The thing is, when people show you who they are, cut them off and keep it moving. That's it.
People think that you have a right to disassociate yourself with anybody
I don't care if you've been on them 30 years. You ain't gotta hold on to them. It's
Time
for them
means
to go.
nothing.
I let people go all the time. It's healthy.
It's very
Because
healthy.
I'm a strong believer. I know we gotta go, but I'm a strong believer of.
Oh, this our show. Take your time.
I'm a strong believer.
I'm the
of,
producer over here.
Oh, I know that's right. I'm a strong believer of the fact that
K. Tyler Perry.
people are put in your life for seasons and reasons, and we may not have had it falling out or anything, but where I'm going or the next stage of my life or the next stage of my journey, you might just can't go along that ride with me, and that's okay. And I can love you from a distance. I wish you well, but people, that's our problem. They try to hold on to everybody and then wonder why they can't get nowhere.
Yep.
And I let a few people go. I got married. Whoa!
Wow. Wait, let me see who I can let go of.
I'm just saying.
Well, I can say the
I'm just
people,
saying.
a lot of people got let go last year.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Why you do it with that face? Though?
She was like she feels sorry for him. Now for me, and I say this all the time, now don't get me wrong, I may be the one who sounds insensitive. I don't mean to be insensitive, but I'm real. I say the shit people want to say but don't want to say because they worry about people crucifying them. I don't give a fuck. But we lost our parents at a very young age. When my dad died, we were 14. When my mom died, we were 27. Like, they both were very young when they passed away. So it's been 20. How many years?
This year made 30 years for Daddy in September.
We got 44. We was 14 when he died.
Oh, it's 2000. What am I thinking? It's 2000.
No, it's about to be like 28. It's been 27 years. It's going on 28. And for my mom,
28 years.
this year will be 15 years that she passed away. So that's a long time. Now, granted, the reason I say that is because once you lose the closest people to you, your parents, a child, God forbid, I don't wish that on anybody or your parents.
Everybody else is easy.
So basically, you have to learn how to live with the closest people to you, the people who created you. So for anybody to think that I have a problem with letting your ass go, there's a problem. No, it's serious. I don't mean to be insensitive, but it's easy. Real, right. It's so easy for me because I've had to do that with the people that it was the hardest.
The most important people.
Yes.
That's strong. That's deep.
Yeah, so to let you go, I'm living without them. I can live without you.
I can live without you. And now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. Right. But it ain't gonna take me 2 fucking months either.
And I even blame Facebook because there's so many times Facebook come up and give you these memories, and I'll be like, oh.
Mikey
died. I be looking at it,
and I'll be like, I remember those times, and then I'll be like, okay, this is why
I said you're a sweetheart, because I look at those memories, and you know what I do? I go
swipe.
I know they miss me.
Yo, that's stupid.
You just lost one.
Oh my God. Now, I look at the memories and be like,
I know my word.
I be like, we
I
had
know me.
fun.
I would hate to lose me as a
That's what I
friend.
do. I be like, dang.
I think I'm a dope ass friend.
We had fun that day.
Right.
Nah, but I hit the thing that says, show you less of these.
Yeah, I do that too.
Are you serious?
That's really,
I didn't even
show
know
me
that
less
was a
of
button.
these. Yeah. It's like it's three
It's
little
little.
dots, and you hit it, and then it says, show
like
me
they
less
go
of these
across
type
like
of
that,
posts.
yeah.
I'll be like, dang, I wish I could share this because I had a lot of fun, but they're in the picture.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
how do you do it?
I've been dealing with this for 42 years.
One band,
He
one
talk
sound.
about me all. What you tell me earlier? He talk about me all the time. He'd be like, you just so.
You hard in the paint?
Yeah. Like speaking of goals.
She do that. I'll be like this.
I was talking about dating, right? So I'll just use this example. So there was this guy who we were going to be dating. It was only like a week or two. And I hit him with the question that I think everybody should ask, especially in our age range. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And he said, First of all, that's 2 red flags. Why the fuck are you thinking about it? You're in your 40s. You should know this. This should be like boom, 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 boom. So then he goes, I was like, you don't know where you see yourself in the next 5 years? So then he goes, I want a house. So I was like, and? Y'all, that nigga was like, I want a house.
I wouldn't have called back.
Y'all
Well,
hard
you
to
know, I'm
think,
super
man.
single,
Y'all
so
hard to
Apparently
think.
she didn't call back.
I was just like, ugh, yeah, you ain't got enough drive for me, buddy.
Y'all hard to think.
He told me I was hard in the paint. I said, no, it's not, cause like,
I can see if you say I'm buying a
now,
bicycle.
now look,
A house is
now
a good
check
thing
this
for a
out.
lot of people. You know
When
what I'm
she
saying?
told
You're
Depending
in
on
your
what you-
20s?
When she told me that, I had just
necessarily.
watched
You know,
this
some people don't buy
video.
their first home until they late 30s or early 40s.
Yeah, everybody don't want a house.
I know, but like, no, my thing is, 5 years is a long time.
Yeah, but
like-
some people, it take 5 years to get their stuff together to get a crib.
Right, okay,
But
so
that-
that's why you should have something else on your
So
list.
she's saying,
like, what are you going
should
to
be
do?
like, oh, I'm starting this online something, or I'm going
Now,
to school to better
but-
myself.
now
I'm
check-
starting a new apprenticeship program. That's what she's
But
saying.
now,
though.
but now,
I
check
get
this
Set up
out.
some loose squares.
Now,
That's
now,
how to go on the list.
Now,
You know what
Tony,
I'm
check
saying?
this out. Now, she told me that. Earlier that day, I had watched this video on Instagram from this guy named Pastor YJP. And he did a video.
Somebody agrees with me. Thank you,
And he did a video
Hard
on
to
that. And he said the reason why a lot of people out here are still single is because they have a list of what
It
they
is.
want. And because that person ain't got that on their list, they cross them off.
Well,
But wait,
you get crossed
but wait,
off.
wait, wait. But he
Let you know
said,
right now.
he said the thing is, you can't always.
What I tell you though, I guess I'm gonna be
because
single forever.
He said, now you may be the person that comes into their life that brings it out of them.
Right.
Just like somebody will bring something out of you.
That is
They
true.
ain't cross you off of their list. They say, you know what, let me work with her.
I've been crossed
Now,
off several times.
Like he said, now
Wow.
you
I know when I'm
you
crossed
see
off.
if you can't
Nigga,
bring it out,
ghosts.
or and you see they just lack ambition, then you bounce. But just don't
Well, I
cross
tell
them off.
women all the time
I just
to
felt
get out
like,
your
to
own
me-
way. Sometimes we get in our own way
Yeah.
and
Just-
we block our own blessings. And sometimes you looking for Mr. Right. I know a person that always had his whole list. Like, boo, no. Just date with a purpose. From day one, I was claiming what I wanted. I was tasting 3 letters. MRS, that's what it was. I always said that.
I like
This is
that.
what it was, period. And I didn't switch up. I was very optimistic. I wasn't trying to say I need him to be built like this. I need him to be tall. I need him to be short. I was open. I need him to be good
Right.
and loving. Don't beat me.
Right.
Don't hit me. Don't
Right.
don't
with
mess with
drive.
kids. Be
Right.
driven. Like those are the things that I'm looking for. Anything else? Every day is just we're working on the bettering ourselves for the next day.
Right. Now my list is not long, but I can't do a man with no drive. I just cannot. Huh?
You gotta be more in the house, right?
Please.
Your ass is crazy.
Sell
man.
socks on the L. Something. Like at least just
Well, I'm
have
saying my
a
thing with
second
that.
thing
my
on
thing
the
with
list.
that, you maybe from your perspective, but from the average person perspective, it takes some people 10 years to get a house,
Yeah.
depending on their situation. So to me, if he said that, that's definitely a good start. Yes, it is. It's definitely. Now, if he'd have been like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy me a Z21, one of them Z71 bicycles back in the day," that's a different thing. That's
Right.
a different thing.
Okay,
but
so
like some people, I know they ain't buy no house till they was 45.
okay, so maybe I should say this. This is why there should be more than the house on the list. What the fuck are you gonna do
Oh my
to get
God.
the house?
Well,
How are you
I'm
gonna keep
assuming
the
now,
house?
see, now this is me
Well, he
assuming
got- I mean, he
because
got
I'm
a
assuming if
job.
he said that he already got a job.
He got
Now,
a
if
job
he just
that he's
didn't
been
have
at for
anything, that's a whole
years.
different scenario.
He
But
probably just
that's my
wasn't ready
assumption.
for a house yet. Everybody don't want a house.
And it's cool for
Well, if he knew
anybody.
like I do, don't get one because the taxes and all that, just rent, sure.
Man,
It's-
oh, I've been a homeowner before. It is
It
definitely
is,
overrated.
It's cool for anybody, in my opinion, to have a list, preferences, or whatever. just be prepared with what comes with that.
That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Meaning that
Don't get in your
you
way.
might not find that person till you 60, or you may
Exactly.
find them when you 16,
Right.
or the thing that you had that list and you found them when you 16 fucked your whole life up until you were 60.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just be prepared for whatever that list
Right.
brings, whatever it is.
Right.
You know,
But my thing
That's-
is,
it's
if you,
I was just laughing at you like,
well,
you know,
I know.
you hard
Yeah,
to
but
pay.
my thing is, if you complaining every day, why don't you have a list of goals? You're in your 40s.
But Rashida, you have to remember, you're already goal oriented. We were raised like that.
But
That's not the
But you
norm.
also have to remember, I don't have to deal with that shit either.
No, you
You know what I
don't.
would say to her?
It's funny watching
No,
twins
but you know,
argue.
yeah, it's like looking at the same person.
That's
so-
like-
Right, it's so funny watching them
But
argue.
for me-
But I would
I
say just
disagree.
be true to you.
Yeah,
If
right,
you know
exactly.
you don't like it, don't like it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Don't try to
Because I'm
switch it
not
up.
gonna respect you.
Well,
That's
I
all
wasn't
I'm
trying to
saying,
change
so,
it or
yeah,
tell her
yeah.
she was wrong. It was, I was just like, man,
He's
you
like,
hard
you
to
are.
Because the way she said it,
You just
I'm like,
chopping them
because
up.
when she was saying it, she was just snapping like, you know, man, this
Right.
dude, I
I
was
was
talking to
venting to
him, and we was talking, and I asked him, you know, what's your goals in 5 years? So I think he was about to be like, you know, buy a gun, have some hoes. He's like, I'm gonna get a house. That's it? And I'm like,
Right.
I'm letting her vent, but I'm really trying to figure out where's the problem. but-
Right, like where's it? Because when she told me
Yeah, I'm
that,
like,
I'm like, okay, but you don't even got a house.
But I had a house.
That don't matter.
It don't
count.
matter.
That don't count.
It don't
'cause you
matter.
had one.
Okay. I'm trying not to go all into this person's business.
No,
Now,
we
now,
got- we
but
just-
now,
no,
now,
I
okay,
understand
now,
what you're saying because you really
now-
have to get deep
Right,
into
now
other issues.
the main
But
reason of
that was your
why
main
you
focus.
cut him off, I get that.
Yeah, we cool with all
I
that.
get that.
But your initial theme, we was talking about the goals.
No, this was even before that conversation.
Yeah.
That was like the last straw.
I'm
No,
cool with
she
that.
gave
That
him
was the last one.
another
Yeah, that was the
chance
last
after I
one.
had the conversation about, well,
Yeah, I
maybe
get
some of
that.
you, maybe that you the person that'll bring it out. Don't cross them off. But then when the other one came, I was like, okay, cross them off.
I get that.
Man, look here. If you
Okay, cross that nigga off.
if you got a short term goal every day to go get your medicine, you should have some other goals. Medicine
Oh my God.
helps with sleeping, aches and pains.
Dr. Dre's album.
Start with an A. M. End with an
Y'all too much. I'm not saying.
A. Became official in January.
Right. January 1st.
Y'all
Need to
silly.
invest in stock. But it's crazy, but that wasn't the only time. Like I just, and then not only that, like going back to being raised from good stock. My dad raised us like, don't be with nobody who don't have no goals. Because not only
He
that,
had a goal. Oh, he didn't have goals.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It goes to
He
the
didn't have the
X.
goals.
but again, but y'all gotta go back to initially.
So what's the minimum?
what he said,
so
that
what's the
was just
minimum?
a thought of, because originally for like 10 minutes
He
it
was,
was
So he had absolutely none.
I guess a house. You guess, nigga?
Oh, he didn't want a house. He's just comfortable with it.
And that's okay.
Right.
And
It's totally fine.
I think that's what
For everybody
we
else.
gotta understand that that's the conversation. That's the conversation that needs to be had. Because everybody, what's good for you or what works for you, that might not work for everybody. Some people are content with living with their mama for the rest of their life. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like when families are able to blend in and save money and everybody help out.
That's another thing our culture needs to learn.
Like
Somebody
that's what I'm
asked, can we put a face with the voice?
saying.
Just come peek in. Gosh, ain't nobody, you ain't got no warrants, do you?
No, he's
Then not only, it might be some ladies
No,
on
you
here
don't.
might be looking for a nice goal-oriented, successful man.
all right.
There he is!
Hey!
Wepa! The Puerto Ricans in the
That's Sheila Easton, y'all.
Whatever. Don't get me started on that.
No, that's Nikki Free from the Revolution.
Watch
Whatever.
this.
Apollonia.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, I need the same thing. See, I said, I mean, 5 years, where do I see myself? Happy. Happy. That's all I got is what? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I mean, I literally don't have a list of things.
Well,
Like,
but
I
you
guess
know
because
why?
maybe
Because you have them. You
To a
already
certain-
check
to
things
a-
off on the
to a
list.
certain
You're a
degree.
successful business owner. You
Yeah,
have
to a
businesses
certain-
out of town. You just came
But
back from out of
still.
town making business moves. You
I-
got
but to me-
85,000 cars.
No, look,
65,000
no, that's not
houses.
even it. Look,
Ladies,
my thing
and he's
is
single.
that no,
He's
no, no,
single,
no.
y'all.
Look. My thing is this. I don't have a problem
Come
with
back
person.
over here.
Oh no, I don't have a problem with person only got one
You want
goal.
them to see your Ralph Polo?
I don't have a problem if they only got one goal.
Right.
That's just me.
Are you marrying them?
Depends. I don't know.
Because once you get to know, and that's what I was meaning when I say we need to get out of our own way sometimes.
Right.
Because
I don't have
when
a problem
you
with a
grow
person
and
having
get to
one
know
goal.
a person, it could be like a whole nother level. Like, whoa, I wasn't expecting this. You have
Yeah.
to be more careful, you know.
But
like,
I just look at it as that's just like, you know, for a guy, I may not fit what he wants, something that he'll respect. That's just like, it's plenty of times guys are asking me like, cause they'll hear me always say, well, I'm about to give me something to eat. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So a lot of guys will be like, do you even cook? And I'm like, do you know how? They say, do you know how to cook? I'm like, well, I know how to cook. I've had to cook for years. I have 3 girls. But I've always been an entrepreneur and a serial entrepreneur. And you already know the business we were doing. In everything I do, comedy, network marketing, all my businesses are all nightlife, lifestyle.
yeah, you gotta be on
So
the
dealing with me, we probably gonna go out more to eat. Don't look for a home cooked meal for me all the time. So if a guy asks me out for that, I don't get mad. Hey, that's something that's important.
But see,
to
that's
him.
the problem to me because that's what I mean. With, people,
And
they
crossing them out.
cross people
Now
out
he
or
done
they.
missed out on a great
Because that
woman
don't mean
because
you
he
wouldn't
didn't
cook.
Exactly.
It is,
Right.
you didn't, that's what I'm saying. Like you have to not get in your own way.
Exactly.
You didn't ever say you wouldn't cook. You just certain situations and
You're
sometimes.
probably not gonna get too many.
But what I'm saying is sometimes
But
that
that's a
person
workaround.
can change things. I have a
Right.
friend that she always used to go to restaurants, but that one person made her say, "Sis,
I cook
teach
for
me how to
you."
cook them greens, girl." Like, and it, that's all I'm saying. It can be a person can physically and mentally just shift you
Yeah, but this
into
person,
a whole nother.
no,
I'm not saying that. I know you really just don't like that person.
I would say don't like it's just
I'm talking about far as for you. Like,
yeah.
I kind of felt that when I first met him, he wasn't fine.
Still don't matter. You been knowing.
I didn't know who.
Are you talking
No,
about the
don't
house
say no
person?
names. Okay.
No, we're not saying that. We're not
Oh,
saying
You talking about the
that.
house
You
person?
talking about the house person?
Wait, which one you talking about?
Dang.
Wait, who was the house person?
I just want
Which one you
to
talking
know.
about? You know what I'm saying? Which one you talking about? Look at that, they whispering. Man, y'all end this show. This end the show.
They got
please.
really
That
doing
one
like
too.
twin stuff. Like,
Like end the
They
show.
both had the same issue.
See you next week, next Thursday. Your favorite twins.
But we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. And guess who came in? This is my grandbaby we were talking about. Darby, say hi.
hi.
Okay, bye. There you go. See ya. Love you. All right, but we want to thank Pinky for joining us again. This was dope. Yeah, we've ever gone this long, and we could keep going if we want to, but we know we got to get back to that adorable, handsome baby, your adorable, loving husband. It's freaking hilarious. We had him on the show last season. Oh my gosh, man! So. Give everybody your social media handles so they can follow you. Facebook,
Follow me
Instagram.
at Facebook, Tabitha Pinky Phipps, and on Instagram, Tabby Pink Diva.
Hey. And not only that, you all can subscribe to our YouTube channel,
Yes.
Your Favorite Lucas Twins. We post all the shows on there, so if you missed it, you can go on there during your time and watch. I mean, y'all take the time to watch Love is Blind. Y'all can watch us and watch Your Favorite Lucas Twins podcast. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you,
so much. Thank you.
Come on here anytime.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Have me anytime. I love it.
Anytime. We sure got the ladies came.
Yes.
And you
Let
broke
me
that.
know.
Yes.
We can't, I got the whole
Show me how.
setup, the
You
shebang.
got it. I can just let me know. Let me know.
Okay, I know we're out of time, but Kathy Garcia said, I feel sometimes men feel intimidated by hardworking women. They might not even know what to say to someone who's independent and professional. I've dealt with that a lot.
And I would say to Kathy, that's probably not the man for you. Because you only want to elevate yourself for a person that is on a certain level. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. I made a post. It's actually on Instagram right now. I made a post. I'm gonna pull it up. Hang around winners, so your wins won't look like you're bragging.
Yeah, I love that.
So I'm just saying, like, they not the ones. Sorry. Level up. Sierra tells you,
Right.
level up. Like, you know, that's all you gotta do. So.
We're gonna get out here, but just one more thing. You know what I got a lot being a comedian? I had several guys tell me that, even recently too. No, shh. I had several guys say to me that it was like, you know, a lot of men are not gonna be comfortable dealing with the fact that you're around a lot of men on the road with men all the time. And I was like, but I had guys that tell me like they weren't comfortable with all the traveling that I do. Right.
You know them, but
right.
You will find, you know, anybody who's securing themselves and that they know you bringing money home. They're not.
Period.
And you know I'm not doing
anything. People always say,
yeah.
You hit it, because women ask me like, oh, your husband always out. Yeah. And he know his wife is expensive. So guess what? He's gonna go and make them coins and get them donuts coming in, because it's a lot to keep up with this household. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, what do you want? You want a man that works and grind? Then you can't have both. Go make that money, baby. I'm here waiting. I cooked. The kids are fed. All right.
Ain't got nothing to worry about.
No.
Ain't got nothing to worry about. He's an amazing man. You know what I'm saying? He's grown into, oh my God, just watching that growth process was dope. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Y'all gotta have me back, though. I can't wait to
you come back anytime you want to.
Okay.
Bring the baby. They'll love sitting in the room with him. Tifa, yeah. She's really good with babies.
She needs to holler at you.
She should.
She's really good with kids.
I don't know why she don't start her own daycare or something young, because she loves the kids. Like,
childcare, period, is a great industry. People gonna spend money. They gonna spend
they
money.
don't
on
spend it. Everybody needs it, so it don't work.
You got a daycare too?
No, I'm trying.
He like, yeah, that's another
You like, be on it. He mess around, go home, and be working on it tonight.
Nah,
starting the daycare.
One of my high school friends, she got 4 of them.
Yeah, it's some good money.
Yes,
My mother did tax preparation for a lady who had a daycare. Mom was like, I think I'm gonna open one. She was like, I love
It's
kids.
forever.
I tell
And then
people
nowadays, because a lot of people work in night shifts. You know, like I work nights, so a lot of people work in night shift too.
And
so
to have a night
you
daycare,
get to charge like
it's
extra
one on
money.
Madison
It's
in
like
Oak
crazy.
Park,
So
so
you're starting to see a lot more than
Yeah.
a lot more than out there.
But we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna continue our conversation.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, why am I looking at this? Tune in every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Follow us on all social media. You'll see it on the video. We have all our social media handles. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, Your Favorite Lucas Twins. Follow Tabitha. She has a dope page. Her stories are hilarious. And her children are beautiful. Her husband's funny as shit. If you having a bad day,
OMG.
just go to one post
and
you will not jump off the ledge.
Wait, is Marvin the guy when I came up there when the Corey was doing?
Yes,
Okay,
this is his wife.
Okay, I remember.
The
What is
ignorance level
hilarious?
is so high and it's hilarious.
I remember,
Hilarious. But thank you guys for tuning in. I am Rashida Lucas.
And I am Dalila Lucas.
And we are your favorite
Lucas twins.
But, yeah, I'm sorry.
Y'all ain't gonna get no sponsors.
See, that's that negativity we was talking about.
Don't speak that over us.
Nah,
I'm sorry.
She all, man, this is all funny, man.
I'm Rashida Lucas.
And I am Dalila Lucas.
And we are your favorite Lucas twins. And this is Tabitha Pinky Phipps. Good night.
Good stuff, y'all. Good